My boss, who was always cold and aloof, cried his eyes out and begged me to take him in after he went bankrupt. I softened, pulling out a meager 150 yuan from my savings as his upkeep fee. But he wasn't well behaved at all. I told him to hug me, and he kissed me instead. I told him to kiss me, and he did something even more embarrassing. I thought he was trying his best to please me to get a raise in his allowance. Until one day, I accidentally caught him sitting in the CEO's office at my new company, sternly reprimanding my direct supervisor. From now on, small projects under 200 million don't need my approval. After saying that, he immediately changed his expression, grumbling and sighing. Was it too much to ask my wife for 20 yuan in pocket money today? Me? Dragging my exhausted body home. I wondered if it was because I was too tired and seeing things. I saw my former boss, who had been missing for a week, squatting in front of my door. Faye. Seeing me, Cyrus leaned against the wall and shakily stood up. Oh, it wasn't a hallucination. As I walked closer, my eyes scanned him several times. His clothes were wrinkled, his sleeves had several large tears, and he was bleeding. His forehead was also scratched. He looked utterly disheveled and miserable. A week ago, Cyrus suddenly announced his company's bankruptcy. Now, he was probably besieged by debt, struggling even with basic necessities. I vaguely guessed why he had come to me. If Cyrus were the type of boss who exploited his employees, I would have kicked him out without hesitation. But on the contrary, even when the company went bankrupt, he still paid full severance to his employees. So, if he truly needed help, I wouldn't ignore him. What do you want? Cyrus lowered his head, looking cautious. Can you take me in? I glanced around, making sure no one else was there, then pointed at myself, my face full of confusion. Me? To take in a bankrupt person like him when I had no money? Afraid I would refuse, Cyrus quickly continued. Just 5 yuan a day, even 1 yuan is fine. Besides, I can do anything. 5 yuan a day, only 150 yuan a month. My best friend paid 15,000 yuan to support a male model for half a month, and he wasn't as handsome as Cyrus. Why was I suddenly feeling a little swayed? While I was still hesitating, his eyes reddened, and his voice was hoarse and choked. It's okay if you don't want to. I can continue sleeping on the park bench. It's just that if the creditors find me, I'll... My mind automatically filled in the blanks, it seemed truly tragic. My heart softened, and I blurted out. Come in. I'm a decent person. I definitely wasn't swayed by his good looks. It's just that I really needed his help with something very important. Something life-threatening. After the company went bankrupt, I lost my income. In an expensive city like this, rent, utilities, and food would cost at least 2,000 yuan a month. My savings wouldn't last even 3 months. By now, I had sent out hundreds of resumes, but without exception, they all disappeared without a trace. Cyrus, having been a boss, surely knew what kind of resume would stand out. I cautiously asked, can you really do anything? Anything what? I want to make a... Before I could say resume, a strange call interrupted me. As soon as I answered, the gentle female voice on the other end rattled off a long speech. But I couldn't hear a single word, my mind was solely focused on finding a job. Do you still have sales positions available? I studied law. The other end was silent for a few seconds. The mental hospital probably still needs people. I recommend you try there. Okay, thank you. There were still many kind people these days, even offering me a job I had never considered. Hanging up, I turned to look at Cyrus. I didn't know why, but his face was flushed to his ears. His eyes darted away, and he looked clearly uncomfortable. I'll go take a shower first. Making a resume doesn't take much time. The sooner he finished, the sooner I could submit it. Besides, it was only 7 in the evening, it was still a long time until bedtime. Waiting until bedtime to shower wasn't too late. From all perspectives, doing the resume first was more beneficial. I suggested, how about you do it first and then shower? His dark eyes flickered with a hint of embarrassment and confusion. He looked exactly like a little wife being teased. Even if you're in a hurry, you have to shower first. It'll be dirty if you don't. But this computer had been with me for 4 years. No matter how dirty it was, it couldn't be as dirty as it. There was no need to shower first just because of a laptop. Actually, I don't mind if you're dirty. He insisted. No, the experience won't be good. Even making a resume required considering the experience. As expected, he had been a boss, his perspective was truly different. After Cyrus entered the bathroom, I opened my laptop, staring at my resume in confusion. What exactly was the problem that no company would hire me? I don't know how long passed. The bathroom door finally opened. I immediately turned around, wanting him to quickly help me fix my resume. The result left me stunned. I saw him with only a towel wrapped loosely around his waist. His slightly curly wet hair stuck to his forehead, and drops of water slid down his neck to his collarbone. Below his collarbone, his chest muscles, abdominal muscles, and V-line were all clearly visible. Realizing my gaze was a bit too lustful, I quickly turned my face away. Focusing back on the computer screen. Let's get started. Cyrus placed his hand on the towel, his voice slightly hoarse. Should we start directly in the living room? I didn't understand. Did making a resume require choosing a place with good feng shui? But I was in a hurry. 1 minute late meant losing another chance to send a resume. You can do it wherever you want, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, even the hallway. The important thing is to start now. Unexpectedly, Cyrus froze, took a deep breath, and lowered his eyes, as if hiding something. Have you ever done those things with someone else? I completely didn't understand what he was saying, but I still politely answered each question. I truly was a good person. No, first time. It really was the first time. My first job was introduced by my professor when I was in graduate school. The professor said that a senior, 3 years ahead of me, was starting a business. The company wasn't big but had great potential. They needed an assistant. It's just that this senior was quite strict and had yelled at more than a dozen previous assistants until they quit. And I was both brainless and broke, perfectly suited for the position. Yes, my senior was Cyrus. Technically, I had been his assistant for 4 years. I had seen him at his peak, and I had seen him in decline. But I had never seen him being so drawn out just because of a resume. Unable to wait any longer, I decisively handed him the laptop. Help me make a resume, or see if this one has any problems that need fixing. He stood frozen in place, pursed his lips in silence, then lightly pressed his forehead and chuckled. It took him a while to utter 2 words. That's all? I frowned, confused. What else? Cyrus opened his mouth to say something, but then stopped. He silently turned around, rummaged through an old suitcase for a silk pajama set, and then walked back into the bathroom. When he came out, he was dressed neatly and fully clothed. Cyrus took my laptop, looked at it for less than 2 seconds, and started working. His slender fingers typed on the keyboard, occasionally adjusting the mouse. In just a moment, my resume became significantly neater and clearer. Watching him concentrate like that, I suddenly felt a little lost in thought. It was like going back to the days before the company went bankrupt, when he was still the arrogant, cold, decisive, and strong CEO. Can't you give yourself a break? Cyrus's voice pulled me back to reality. Remembering my current situation, I could only give a helpless laugh. My account balance doesn't allow me to rest, and besides, I have to pay you now. His hand paused for a second, and the corner of his mouth curved into a barely noticeable smile. Then I have to try even harder to help you find a good job, so you'll have money to support me. Support him? I hadn't thought in that direction at all. The money I was talking about was the money to pay him to fix my resume. I was about to explain. But he didn't give me a chance, directly handing the laptop back to me. I just sent your resume to Hongyu Group. They're hiring for a legal position, and I think you're a good fit. I unconsciously repeated. Hongyu? That name sounded so familiar. Very quickly, I reacted. So surprised that my voice cracked. Is that the Hongyu Group, the global Fortune 500 listed company where even a cleaner earns tens of thousands? As soon as the words left my mouth, my phone rang again, a strange number. I answered, and it was a man's voice. Hello, I'm from the HR department of Hongyu Group. We saw that you just submitted your resume to our company. Your profile is very suitable for our requirements. Do you have time for an interview tomorrow? It was too sudden, I was momentarily flustered. So nervous that I punched Cyrus a few times. I will follow your company's arrangements. The HR softly asked, Is your home far from the company? We have a pickup service. I was about to say, no need to bother, I can go by myself. But the words stopped at my mouth. A large corporation like Hongyu, for each position, there were at least hundreds, even thousands, of people competing. Applicants came from all over the country. If everyone was picked up, how much manpower and financial resources would the company have to spend? Unless the company's chairman was stupid, no one would do such a wasteful thing. Could it be a scam? Hello, you won't change your mind, will you? Huh, why did it sound so tense? Congratulations, you've been accepted. You can come to complete the formalities tomorrow. If you're busy tomorrow, the day after is fine, just according to your available time. Even after hanging up the phone, my head was still muddled. Cyrus noticed my suspicion and showed me his phone. It's not a scam. I just checked, their phone number matches the one that just called. I had been running around looking for a job for 7 days. But today, in less than half an hour, I received an offer from Hongyu, a company I hadn't even dared to dream of before. Am I dreaming? Cyrus suddenly spoke. Am I in your dream? Then I'm definitely not dreaming. As soon as I finished speaking, he suddenly leaned close. Before I could avoid him, he wrapped his arms around my waist. My love, work is done. Now, shouldn't we do the main thing? I naturally understood what he was implying. Cyrus looked at me intently, his eyes like a male fox trying to enchant someone. To be honest, he completely suited my aesthetic. I'm a normal adult. Being by his side for 4 years, I've naturally had inappropriate thoughts. If he weren't my senior, if he weren't my boss, if he weren't someone more well off than me, if there wasn't such a huge gap between us, maybe I would have made a move long ago. But now, other than being my senior, he was nothing else. Anyway, it only cost 150 yuan. Wouldn't it be a waste not to enjoy it enough? But, how should I start? I remembered going to a bar with my best friend and seeing her call the male dancers several times. The first step was to give an order. Hug me? Cyrus curved his lips into a smile, suddenly placed a hand on the back of my neck, and lowered his head to kiss me. My mind went blank, and I could only obediently close my eyes. He kissed me very gently, but it wasn't long before I couldn't breathe. Never kissed anyone before? My face turned crimson. Cyrus chuckled softly, his voice deep and seductive. Open your mouth, I'll teach you. I tilted my head to avoid him, a sudden feeling of discomfort rising within me. You're quite experienced, aren't you? His kiss landed on my cheek. Jealous? I taught myself. I've never kissed anyone else besides you. In college, I heard many stories about him. Especially regarding relationships, according to my supervisor, people brought gifts and confessions to the lab door every day. Over time, that spot even became a famous check-in location at school. I didn't believe he had never been in love. He was definitely lying to me. Thinking of this, I was both embarrassed and annoyed. I told you to hug me, and you kissed me instead. So if I say I want you to kiss me, what else will you do? Cyrus raised an eyebrow, his dark eyes narrowed, his expression extremely dangerous. You can try. My head felt hot, and I continued on impulse. Then, kiss me? His nose brushed against my cheek, and one hand supported my waist, pulling me forcefully into his arms. His sudden movement made me jump and tremble. Don't be scared, I won't do anything else. He said that, but his hands didn't stop. His hand had already found its way under my dress. Just then, Cyrus's phone rang. He cursed under his breath in annoyance, immediately hung up, and intended to continue his previous action. But before a second passed, the phone rang again. Cyrus placed a kiss on my forehead, his eyes so gentle they seemed to melt. Be good, I have something to take care of. As soon as he answered, his expression immediately darkened, his eyes cold and filled with murderous intent. It better be something important, otherwise I'll deal with you tomorrow. I don't know what the other end said, but the coldness around him softened somewhat, though his voice was still unhappy. Stick to the old plan. After saying that, he hung up decisively without waiting for the other party to react. It seemed truly urgent. But thinking of his hand just now, exploring under my dress, I was also urgent, so urgent that I had to find a way to escape. Taking advantage of the moment he hung up and hadn't yet reacted, I quickly rushed towards the room door, my hand tightly gripping the doorknob, ready to lock it at any moment. That's enough for today. You sleep on the sofa. We'll talk tomorrow. Cyrus frowned, pouted, his face full of grievances. Bang. What answered him was only the cold, slamming door. Lying in bed, I began to recap the events of the evening. A series of questions kept appearing in my mind. With Cyrus's good looks, wouldn't it be as easy as pie to find a rich woman to take him in? Why did he come to a penniless person like me? And Hongyu Group, why did they hire me so casually? My mind was tired and sleepy. The next morning, I was woken up by my alarm clock. But after waking up, I still didn't seem fully alert. I smelled a mouth-watering aroma. To determine if my nose or my brain was faulty, I followed the scent to the kitchen. And then, my jaw almost dropped at the sight before me. I saw Cyrus wearing my pink apron. One hand held a spatula, stirring food, and the other held a soup spoon. From the front, he looked like he wasn't wearing anything underneath. From behind, I saw he was wearing black shorts. This scene was too beautiful, I dared not look. Seeing me, he slightly raised his head, a proud expression on his face. With my understanding of you, a workaholic, you'll definitely go to your new company on time as usual. So I prepared breakfast. At that moment, I only wanted to say one thing. You, put on a shirt. After washing my face and coming out, Cyrus obediently changed into proper clothes. Looking at the dining table full of both Western and Asian dishes, I couldn't help but ask, did you make this? Of course, try it. Is it good? Is it too much of a bargain to only spend 150 yuan a month to support me? Will you continue to support me next month? When he was my boss, Cyrus was always cold and spoke little. Now, for 150 yuan, he bowed his head in compromise. Refusing him, I also felt a bit embarrassed. Probably. Cyrus immediately exploded. Probably? Does that mean there's still a possibility of not? Who could say for sure about next month? I already had plans. If I couldn't survive in this city, I would move to a smaller one. If the company made things difficult today, I might have moved out next month. Oh right, didn't I wake up early this morning to go complete the onboarding formalities? No time to comfort Cyrus. I grabbed a bag of bread and ran to the door to change my shoes. I'm about to miss the bus. We'll figure it out when I get back. Yesterday, I hung up in a hurry and didn't get a chance to ask where I needed to go at the company to complete the onboarding process. I called back, and the other end answered very quickly. The tone was still polite as before, I'll send someone down to pick you up right away. In just a moment. A young man in a black windbreaker, with an employee badge on his chest displaying a manager title, walked up to me. Are you Miss Fei? I nodded, hello, I'm Fei. At the same time I secretly wondered, Do new employees now get personally escorted by a manager? Also, this person looked very familiar. It seemed I had met him before Cyrus's company went bankrupt. Please follow me. I'll guide you through the onboarding process and give you a detailed introduction to your work. Thank you, Manager Chu. I followed Manager Chu up to the 45th floor. This floor is the company's legal department. You belong to Legal Department 1, and your daily tasks will be assigned by the team leader. Your seat is over there. He pointed to a corner near the window, with its back to the wall, a perfect spot to be lazy. The team leader of Legal Department 1 is Ms. Teresa Tang. Your desk is opposite hers. If you have any questions, just ask her. If you still have doubts, come see me. Opposite my desk was a woman in a gray suit with short hair and a sharp demeanor. All right, thank you, Manager Chu. After Manager Chu left, I walked straight to Team Leader Tang. Hello, I'm the new legal employee of the company, Faye. Could you please guide me on the specific tasks? She seemed very professional, talking while not stopping her work. On your desk is a stack of contracts that need to be reviewed today. Fix any issues, organize them, and send them to me before you leave work. Looking at the mountain of contracts piled high on the desk, I admit I was a bit overwhelmed. But there was no time to fret, I had to get to work quickly. See? That new employee was personally escorted by Manager Chu to get acquainted with the company. She must have had a back door. Definitely. When we started, we had written tests, interviews, evaluations, and then probation. It took us 3 months to officially get hired. You can only get that kind of treatment with strong backing. What a coincidence. I could even hear gossip while using the restroom. Oh, and it was gossip about myself. Last night, when I was thinking about why I was hired, I also wondered who exactly helped me get in through the back door. In a company this big, there's no way they'd hire someone without even a basic interview. I was too curious, I really wanted to join this gossip session. I waited a little longer. Next to me, I heard the sound of a toilet flushing. The two people outside immediately fell silent, seemingly not expecting anyone else to be in the restroom. Just when I thought they would quietly leave, a voice spoke, and even though I hadn't heard it in 4 years, I recognized it immediately. You're wrong. In that moment, I froze, blood rushing to my head. Mia? It was her, indeed. Why was she at this company too? Clearly, I hadn't seen any trace of her when I arrived. Zhang Mia's voice was full of disdain. She's my college roommate. Her family is from the countryside, where would she get backing from? At most, it's just. She paused for a moment. Then, a few mocking laughs erupted. Understood, no backing means using her body, right? 4 years had passed and she hadn't changed. Still liked to fabricate such nasty rumors about me. I chuckled. Just laughing at myself. 4 years later, I hadn't changed either. When I heard fabricated rumors about myself, I didn't immediately rush out to argue and set things straight. Instead, I thought about whether I'd lose my temper if I argued later. If we fought, could I win against them? If I won, would I be forced to pay for their medical expenses? If the company found out, would I be fired? If I were fired, where would I go, and what would I do next? By the time I weighed the pros and cons, those people outside had long gone. To avoid dwelling on annoying past events, I poured all my energy into work all afternoon. Just in time for quitting time, I brought the edited documents to Team Leader Tang. She nodded, and her expression was finally not as stern as before. The task I gave you is normally for 2 days, your speed is quite good. It seems you have some ability. Keep it up. See you tomorrow. The stone in my heart finally dropped, and I breathed a sigh of relief. I'll do my best. See you tomorrow. But the good mood didn't last long, it was ruined by someone. Zhang Mia seemed to be intentionally waiting for me at the company gate. I walked around her. But she raised her hand to stop me, smiling provocatively. Faye, long time no see. Don't you want to reminisce about old times? It was quitting time now, the dispute was a personal matter. So this time, I didn't dodge but looked directly into her eyes. How's your mom doing these days? Huh? I mean, reminisce with your mom. You. She angrily raised her hand to hit me, but I managed to block her. But I was still too careless. Zhang Mia was best at playing dirty tricks. As soon as I blocked her punch, she seized the opportunity to fall to the ground. It was rush hour, and this drama immediately attracted quite a few onlookers. It's been 6 years, are you still blaming me for stealing Daniel Chen? Oh, I almost forgot. Besides fabricating rumors, Zhang Mia also stole my ex-boyfriend. I didn't understand. Keep your voice down. Is being a homewrecker something to be proud of? Besides, whatever you steal is just trash I threw away. The people around buzzed with discussion. Seeing the unfavorable situation, Zhang Mia immediately switched to a weak demeanor. But you can't just hit people like that. Public opinion immediately swung in her favor. Today's work had exhausted me. I didn't want to waste any more energy on Zhang Mia. Seeing me about to leave, she grabbed my arm when I wasn't paying attention. So annoying. Just then. I was only gone for a moment, and someone dared to bully my girlfriend? It was Cyrus's voice. I turned around in surprise, seeing him raise an eyebrow slightly, his eyes cold as ice. He strode towards me, wrapped an arm around my waist, shielding me in his embrace. If you want to cause trouble, find a place without cameras. I've already saved the surveillance video clip and sent it to everyone's phones here. Don't frame my girlfriend anymore. Zhang Mia's mouth twitched, still unwilling to give up. The company's cameras, how could an outsider like you get access? Cyrus didn't bother to pay attention to her but turned to check if I was hurt. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone else stepping out of the crowd. Zhang Mia, who had just been sitting on the ground pretending to cry, immediately stood up, her voice fawning. Manager Chu. Manager Chu only glanced at her, then walked straight to Cyrus. Respectfully bowing, hello, CEO Cyrus. This kind of trash, deal with it. After saying that, Cyrus took my hand and pulled me away from the crowd. Down in the parking lot, my mind was still reeling from what had just happened. Completely unaware that Cyrus was silently fuming. He put me in the car, gently squeezed my cheek, forcing me to regain my composure. You silly girl, why are you still the same as when you were in school? I told you, if someone bullies you, you have to fight back. I'll take care of everything, no matter what happens. This sentence took me back to the day I broke up with Daniel Chen. That day, Zhang Mia followed behind him, tears welling up in her eyes. Brother Daniel, yesterday I saw Faye getting out of a luxury car. You're such a good person, I can't bear to see you being deceived. I let out a cold laugh. I had explained countless times that Cyrus came to school to find the professor and gave me a ride home because it was on his way. But Daniel Chen only listened to Zhang Mia's fabrications. Seeing that I didn't refute him anymore, he immediately got angry. If there's nothing going on, then why did he drive you home? I wish I hadn't accepted his courtship. Daniel Chen was my neighbor's son. From childhood to adulthood, we only exchanged greetings. Unexpectedly, when we both got into the same university, he suddenly confessed his feelings to me. I refused immediately, saying that graduate school was very busy, and I didn't have time for a relationship. But he wouldn't give up, coming to my classes every day. For half a year, the entire department knew his name. Reluctantly, I accepted. But after only a week of dating, he doubted me because of a woman he had known for less than a month. Well, it's good. Finally, I could get rid of him. I calmly clarified. We haven't even broken up, and you're already involved with someone else, even fabricating and slandering me. Both morally and legally, you are in the wrong. Let's break up. I'll let you off the hook. Slap. An unexpected slap landed directly on my left cheek. Daniel Chen hit me. My face was hot and stung, making my heart ache, but I still handled it very calmly. I'll go to the hospital to get a medical examination, and then report it to the police. I'm sure you know the next steps, right? Daniel Chen always maintained the image of a model student at school. If he had a record at the police station, it meant he would no longer have the opportunity to receive any awards or honors. Concerned about his personal interests, he began to panic. I'm sorry, Faye, I didn't mean to. Again, he knelt down and begged for my forgiveness. Beside him, Zhang Mia sobbed. I was firm. The camera is right there. If you don't want this to go viral on social media, it's best to let go now. Just then, several cars drove up from a distance. Daniel Chen didn't want to be seen by others, so he quickly pulled Zhang Mia away. A car quickly stopped in front of me. The window rolled down, revealing Cyrus's gloomy face. Get in. I'll take you to the hospital for a medical examination. He thought exactly like me. Why didn't you fight back when you were bullied? I don't have money for compensation. Did you forget I'm rich? You can break their arms and legs, I'll pay for you. I can't win. So. My mind returned to the present. Another question arose in my head. Why did Manager Chu call you CEO Cyrus? We cooperated before, he's a good friend of mine. Today, he's helping me out. Oh, I see. No wonder he looked familiar. I had another question. Didn't you go bankrupt? How can you still drive a Mercedes? It's Manager Chu's car. So that's how it was. I thought he was deceiving me again. After returning home, Cyrus cooked 3 meat dishes and 1 soup. Every dish suited my taste. But while eating, he kept staring at me intently. Staring as if he was afraid I would run away. To be able to eat in peace. I answered the question he asked this morning, I'll continue next month. The corner of Cyrus's mouth curved slightly, though he tried to suppress it, he couldn't hide his smile. Okay. On the second day of work. I noticed that anyone who walked past me would pause their gaze on me for a few seconds. It's fine. I came here to work, not to make friends. I ignored their unusual gazes. Completely focused on my work. In the afternoon, the department organized a celebratory party. The person organizing it treated me as if I were invisible. No one asked if I wanted to go, except for team leader Tang. Going? I smiled and shook my head. No, I have something to do after work. Initially, it was just an excuse. But not long after saying that, I received a message from Mrs. Zhou, the person who demanded money from me punctually every month. She said something had happened at home and told me to come back. Indeed, people should avoid speaking ill omens. What could possibly be wrong at their house besides them wanting me to save money for Quentin's house? But this time I guessed wrong. As soon as I stepped through the door, what greeted me was a slap. My father was so angry his chest was heaving, looking like he was about to explode. Because of you, Daniel's girlfriend was fired from her company. Go to their house and apologize right now. My mother hugged my brother, who was 5 years younger than me. She observed coldly, as if the person who had just been hit wasn't her own daughter. Having argued until my throat was hoarse countless times, I had long since grown disgusted and tired. Now, I was completely numb. Dad, why don't you ask what Daniel and his girlfriend did first? If there's nothing else, I'll leave now. As soon as I lifted my foot to leave, my mother couldn't sit still anymore, quickly standing up to stop me. Of course, not out of concern for me. But because. When are you sending us money this month? Tomorrow. The bad luck hadn't ended yet. One of the people who caused me to get slapped, Daniel Chen. He was standing in the aisle, smoking a cigarette, waiting for me. Just my luck. After many years, he seemed to have gained weight. Completely losing the image of the law department heartthrob from back then. Let's talk. I walked straight past him. There's nothing to talk about. Indeed, you like Cyrus. I didn't reply. Just quickened my pace. After all, the strength between men and women is inherently unbalanced. If he blocked me and didn't let me go, it would be very troublesome. It wasn't until I sat on the bus that I felt my body relax. But Daniel Chen's last sentence, it kept echoing in my mind. Do I like him? In just a second, I had the answer in my heart. I like him. Not just purely based on appearance, but also his soul. When did it start? Perhaps it was from the first Lunar New Year he spent with me. Faye works at a big company, she's so capable, huh? What's the point of a girl working so hard outside? It's better to find a good family and marry into it. Our family has such a beautiful daughter. The bride price must be at least 660,000 yuan, or she absolutely won't marry. That's right, the bride price must be enough to buy Quentin a house. These words, I had heard too many times. Their topic when mentioning me forever revolved around marriage and dowry. At the dinner table, my father had too much to drink, snorting with disdain. 660,000 yuan isn't even as much as the demolition compensation in our hometown. No, at least 1 million yuan. As soon as the words left his mouth, all eyes at the table looked at me strangely. It was no wonder that for so many years, we hadn't gone back to our hometown for Lunar New Year. An indescribable bitterness welled up in my heart. In this house, I was the only outsider. I slammed my hand on the table, yelling angrily. Am I not your biological daughter? My mother pointed at me. If you want to throw a tantrum, go outside and do it. Don't cause trouble in my house. Your house? I'll never come back again. All my belongings in that house could be packed into a single suitcase. After packing, I felt no attachment. Dragging my suitcase, I wandered on the deserted street. I don't know how long I walked, until I was startled to look at my watch. It was already midnight. A call came in. It was Cyrus. My first reaction was to curse under my breath. Truly a cruel capitalist, not even letting me have peace during Lunar New Year. But when I answered the phone, his gentle voice came through. Happy New Year. I froze, all curses stuck in my throat. After a long time, I responded hoarsely. Happy New Year. My voice trembled uncontrollably. Don't cry. Where are you? I'll come pick you up. Perhaps I was truly too lonely. I obediently sent him my location. Then I squatted down on the roadside. I don't know how long passed before a jacket was draped over me. It was very warm and comfortable. Tired? At the saddest times, the scariest thing is to have someone comfort you. Fake resilience easily collapses before genuine care. I burst into tears, throwing myself into Cyrus's arms, crying for a very long, long time. From then on, every year during Lunar New Year, he would find an excuse to come to my rental apartment. Now I miss Cyrus very much. I want him to hug me. Cyrus said he had something to do today and would be home late. So before going home, I had to go to the company to pick up the keys I had forgotten. Stepping out of the elevator, I paused slightly. I felt something was wrong, as if the structure of this floor was different from where I had worked for the past 2 days. It wasn't until I saw the CEO's office that I realized what the problem was. When I pressed the elevator button, I was thinking too much and accidentally pressed the wrong floor, going up to the 46th floor. There were people talking inside the office. What if I accidentally overheard trade secrets and got caught? I had to leave immediately. But as I turned around, I suddenly realized that the person sitting lazily in the CEO's chair looked very familiar. I tiptoed closer, and when I clearly saw the person, my breath seemed to catch. It was as if an invisible hand was tightening around my throat, making it impossible to breathe. Cyrus was sternly reprimanding Manager Chu. From now on, small projects under 200 million don't need my approval anymore. 200 million was pocket change? Then what was the 20 yuan I gave him this morning? Manager Chu was the first to notice me. Ms. Fei has arrived. Seeing me, Cyrus immediately stood up. He took a few large strides towards me, gripping my hand tightly. His voice was a little rushed. I deliberately deceived you, but can you let me explain? Yes. I know you want to find someone who's a good match and live a stable life. Before, I was never within your range of options. If I didn't pretend to go bankrupt, I'm afraid you would never accept me. I'm sorry, I didn't consider your feelings, but can you give me a chance to make amends? Towards the end, his voice trailed off, as if he was whispering to himself. He also understood that deception was deception. After all those strange things happened, I should have realized he was lying to me long ago. I decisively pulled my hand away from him and said indifferently, "Thank you, CEO Cyrus, for giving me the opportunity to join Hongyu. And thank you, CEO Cyrus, for pretending to be poor to amuse me. But something that doesn't belong to me, I cannot accept. Let's end it here." The previous trouble hadn't been resolved yet. New trouble struck. Today, team leader Tang uncharacteristically called me directly. "Your parents are causing a ruckus downstairs at the company. CEO Cyrus isn't here, you need to come handle it." I rushed over, and the scene before me was. My parents were sitting on the company lobby floor, crying loudly. Passers-by dared not approach, but they didn't forget to hurl a few insults at them. Truly unfilial children. The pain of my biological family was exposed for all to see. If it were before, I would have argued with them in front of everyone. But now, I no longer had the strength to argue. I just wanted to resolve everything calmly. Showing no emotion, I walked up to them. "Who told you two that I work here?" My mother looked up at me. "Zhang." "Never mind, why ask if you don't care who said it?" I already had the answer in my heart. If you two want to continue making a scene here, I have no objection. The only thing is, from now on, don't expect to receive another penny from me. As soon as they heard about money, they immediately sprang up. I took them to a nearby restaurant and booked a private room. Without beating around the bush, I went straight to the point. "Since I started working, I've sent you 5,000 yuan every month. For years, a total of 240,000 yuan. There's 300,000 yuan in this card. From now on, I will transfer 1,500 yuan into this card every month, according to the maximum amount allowed by law for parental support." Since I was 15, they had never given me a single cent. This amount was considered repayment for the so-called upbringing. But their greed didn't stop there. Before I could finish speaking, my father loudly cursed me for being unfilial. "If you want to drag this out, go to court. Let me calculate. If we go to court, lawyer fees and other expenses will cost at least tens of thousands. Taking this card is still the most advantageous option for you too." My mother forced a smile. "Then we'll go find our son-in-law and demand money. Daniel's girlfriend said that our son-in-law is the chairman of Hongyu Group. The bride price must be at least 5 million, or else don't even think about marriage." My greatest fear finally came true. This was also the reason I wanted to stay away from Cyrus. My family was like a bottomless pit. Give them money once, and they'll ask for it a second, third time. But luckily, Cyrus and I were no longer involved. "Because of you two, Cyrus just messaged me that I'm fired. He also said he's increased security, so don't cause trouble at his company anymore. If anything happens, you two will be held responsible. Also, don't bother looking for me. I won't be anywhere you know." After saying the last sentence, I stood up and left. The words I had suppressed for so many years finally came out, and I felt much lighter. From now on, I would only fulfill my legal obligations. As for how they lived, I no longer cared. Upon returning home, I saw a familiar scene. Cyrus stood before the door. Meeting my gaze, he awkwardly lowered his head, his back slightly hunched, looking extremely dejected. I walked up and stopped in front of him. Cyrus wanted to take my hand, but his hand went halfway up and then retreated. Finally, he only asked one question. Do you like me? Even a little? I didn't hesitate. Yes. Liking someone is liking someone. I don't like beating around the bush. The man in front of me seemed to cling to a lifeline, his eyes suddenly lighting up. Don't torment yourself like this anymore. I can share your burdens. Will you marry me? But what if someday in the future? Cyrus no longer liked me. At that time I would once again be alone. Such an unstable life without a sense of security was not what I wanted. Compared to standing beside him as a wife, I longed more to be able to stand beside him with my own strength. Cyrus, I don't want to continue being a self-conscious, sensitive Faye who relies on others anymore. I want to become a confident Faye who can solve all problems on her own. And this journey can only be done by myself. The light in Cyrus's eyes gradually faded again. I can go with you. I shook my head. Yesterday, I applied for an international lawyer training program and it's been approved. The location is in England. He was like a child afraid of being abandoned. He tightened his arms around me, burying his head in the crook of my neck. A few warm drops fell. He was crying. When are you leaving? Tomorrow. I'll wait for you to come back. When that time comes, will you give me a chance? Yes. Epilogue. A lavish party. I wore a long red dress. Lawyer Faye is truly young and talented. In just 1 year, she's helped Faye and Company establish itself in the legal world. You're too kind. It's thanks to the support of Lawyer Lin and CEO Wu that Faye and Company has flourished. CEO Wu raised his wine glass, gesturing to me. I wonder if Lawyer Faye has a significant other yet. Mr. Wu, don't you know? Lawyer Faye's charm attracts not only men but also women. I smiled calmly. Not at the moment, but someone has already made a reservation. At this moment, the entire hall suddenly became chaotic. Most eyes were drawn behind me. CEO Cyrus has arrived. He's walking straight towards us. Get ready. As soon as I turned around, I bumped into a warm and solid chest. Why didn't you tell me you were back? Do you know how much I missed you? Why are you crying? So many people are looking. The more they look, the better. I want all of them to know you're mine, so no one dares to dream anymore. On the second day after our reunion, Cyrus moved his office directly to my office. This caused Manager Chu quite a bit of trouble. He had to run back and forth between my law firm and Cyrus's company. I advised Cyrus to work seriously and that we could meet after work. He shook his head, refusing to listen. His eyes red, he clutched the corner of my shirt. What if you leave again? Faye, I truly don't feel secure. I want to lock you up. I was helpless, gently coaxing him. You have to lock someone up legally. What do you mean? Let's get married. The end.